going on, dudes and dudettes? So USC did get a commitment from the junior college ranks. According to them, the number one running back in junior college. He was one of the top players in the portal from junior college as well. His name is Waynond Jordan. He's considered a four-star transfer, so that's pretty good. Obviously, if he's considered the number one guy at his position, pretty obvious his stars are going to be high. But yeah, playing against lower level, and he looks pretty good. He looks pretty shifty, almost like you think he's going one way and then makes a quick cut. So it doesn't look too big, but I think if you're adding Eli Sanders from New Mexico a couple of weeks ago, and now this guy, I think one of those guys, either Brian Jackson or Marion Peterson, or maybe some of the guys, Dalton or Wormley, coming in from the 2025 class, might end up going out somewhere else during the spring, but we'll see who ends up that being. In the meantime, congrats and welcome to the team, Waymond. And then they did pick up an offensive lineman in DJ Wingfield from Purdue. I believe he was also at New Mexico when he started his college career, but he's played both like guard and tackle. I think his better years were at right tackle while at New Mexico a few years ago, but maybe USC is bringing him in as the insurance to back up or now even be the starter at left guard, where Emmanuel Pregnon is now leaving to another school, so he could be left guard. Maybe they could switch around someone else who's playing right tackle, most likely Tobias Raymond on the inside. We'll see, because you have to be pretty athletic, and maybe we'll see whoever is athletic between these guys during spring camp and spring practices. But looking pretty good so far. He was one of the more sought-after guys over the last couple of weeks in the portal. And then they did pick up pretty much a backup quarterback in Sam Huard. He did start his career at Washington, where he was a five-star quarterback coming out of high school a few years ago, but ended up transferring to Cal Poly, then to Utah recently, and had a couple injuries here and there. And he's a lefty too, so it's pretty tough for lefty quarterbacks to be consistent even in college too. But I think his injuries have kind of stopped his development. But Huard is a pretty well-known name at USC right now, because there is I think the quarterback's coach is Huard, so that might be his uncle. So maybe he's just coming in to try to compete. I don't know really how good he is if he was the backup at other schools to maybe take over the starting job, but maybe at least be the number two and let Longstreet develop over a year. Who knows? But I think he has 2 years of eligibility left, so we'll see how long he ends up staying at USC. Then they find out some news about their tight end, Lake McCree, who looks like he's going to be returning for another season. I know he missed a couple of years due to injury, and once he finally did get some playing time, he was the more consistent tight end USC's had in a while. But then, sadly, he went down, I think, during the Michigan game and was out for quite a handful of weeks. But I thought he was going to be out for the whole year. Luckily, he did return. But, yeah, I kind of thought he was just going to end up going to the draft and not risk another injury while in college. But he is coming back. So that's great to have another one of your leaders return to your school. So hopefully it will be a nice addition to the team once again. And then they did pick up a Texas A&M cornerback in Kevin Longstreet, who recently signed with USC, and I believe he is the older brother of Husan Longstreet, the Corona Centennial quarterback, who is going to be enrolling at USC pretty soon here in the spring. So it's kind of obvious that he kind of got a spot on the roster because of his brother, but maybe that was like a nice incentive for him to go to USC. They said, yeah, we'll sign your brother too. We'll keep him. I guess that's why he had committed to Texas A&M in the first place, because his brother was already there, but USC was able to kind of make a deal and get him over there while he entered the portal. I don't think he's going to be a real difference maker for the team depth-wise, but at least to make one of your five-star, going to be highly paid players in the near future happy, then I guess you got to do whatever you can, right? Then there was a couple of announcements from the cornerback John Humphrey and the other cornerback Greedy Vance Jr., who both had pretty much put out statements like Cobb and Muhammad the other week that they're basically going into the draft. I know Humphreys officially said that he was going to the draft. Greedy Vance's statement didn't really mention the draft, but I'm pretty sure if all these guys are putting it out and they're basically heading towards the draft, I guess he just forgot to put it in his statement. But either way, good luck to those guys, and we'll see where they end up. and one of those top elite 2026 linebackers, Xavier Griffin, who committed to USC, says he's still locked in with USC, but a couple of schools, especially two schools, are trying to get him on official visits. And I think even throughout this process, since he has committed to USC, he has gone on a couple of visits, and a lot of people are still wondering, like, why commit if you're still going to go and look at other schools, see what they're offering you and all that stuff. So it is weird. Happens a lot with USC guys, especially guys on the East Coast or in the South who are not close to USC. Come and visit them more often, but hopefully they still have a chance to snag him in the 2026 class. And there was a 4-star linebacker from Texas, I believe, in Anthony Davis, and he says like 4 teams are pretty much recruiting him pretty hard lately, and USC is one of those 4 teams. So I'm pretty sure he's one of those top linebackers in that 2026 class, I believe, and hopefully they have a chance at signing him at some point next year. And then ex-USC wide receiver Drake London went off on one of his last games this year. He had 10 catches, 187 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It's the most yards in a single game in his career. So yeah, congrats to him. Definitely balled out. He has a new quarterback, so he's kind of struggling there with Kirk Cousins, but has the rookie Penix Jr., who they took in the first round, and it's looking like a pretty solid quarterback for them. Another lefty. So yeah, we'll see how he does next season. Might be a sneaky pick in London for my fantasy football. So we'll see about that. And the USC women's basketball team went on the road to Rutgers. I believe that's in New Jersey, and got a big time victory out there on the East Coast, 92-42. Their defense just was suffocating. Even during that game, Ryan Marshall, the senior, had scored her 1,000th career rebound, which is nice. I think she already did that in points too pretty recently. And once again, Juju Watkins was named the Big Ten Co-Player of the Week, so another congrats to her. And then I believe they're on a 14-1 start, which is the best start through 15 games since the 93-94 season, which I don't think they won anything that year. I know they always talk about like the mid to late 80s, where that was when they won the championships, and those are the banners hanging up in their practice facility. But yeah, either way, it's a great start, and hopefully they can do some damage in the March Madness tournament. That's what I am hoping for. And then ex-USC running back Austin Jones was recently named Lakeside Football, their new head coach at that high school, which is pretty cool. I don't know if they're, I think it might be Texas, 'cause I think he's from Texas. I could be wrong, but it doesn't sound like California high school, but I don't know. Could be wrong. There's probably lakesides everywhere, all over the country. Just like I live in Riverside County, but there's like Riversides in Florida too, which still kind of makes sense because there's a lot of water out there. But either way, congrats to him, and we'll see how his career ends up out there at that high school. And then an ex-USC men's basketball player, his name was John Rudometkin, I believe that's how you say it. He was recently put into the Basketball Hall of Fame for college. He's a 2-time All-American. He's a 5th in USC history in rebounds. He's 5th in average scoring at 18.8 and had 1,484 career points, which is 9th in USC history. So that's pretty awesome. So congrats to him. Definitely well-deserved, and took a while to get in there, but at least he made it, buddy. So congratulations. And from the USC women's soccer team, they did have a player sign with one of those teams, I think they're from Nashville. I could be wrong, or maybe North Carolina, one of those in East Coast states, but her name was Brooklyn Courtnall. So congrats to her, and she made it to the women's, so what do you call that, National Women's Soccer League. So it's one of their pro leagues out there, which is pretty cool. And then one of the other top players from the USC women's soccer team, I believe her name was Helena Sampaio, and she recently signed with a team out there overseas, so she's going to be part of their junior team. So even if you think of like Real Madrid, FC Barcelona, Liverpool, all those teams have a secondary women's team. That's what I found out from watching that Welcome to Wrexham Ryan Reynolds show about his soccer team, all about that in England and stuff. So yeah, or Europe. I don't think their team is based in England. But yeah, it's pretty cool. So congrats to her. At least she's living out the dream, and hopefully she can make it big somewhere back in America too. And then a couple of the USC women's volleyball players, they did recently officially sign with their teams that they were drafted with. I believe Allie Battenhorst signed her deal with the Omaha team, and then Mia Tuaniga signed with that Atlanta team that she was drafted in the 4th round too. So congrats to those ladies. A couple of the leaders and better players from the team this last season, so hopefully they'll do some good in that professional women's volleyball league. And then right before this game against Tampa Bay, the Ducks re-signed Frank Vatrano, or they actually extended his contract to 3 more years with about like 4.57 yearly annual. So I think it was about like almost 30 something or whatever it ends up coming out to be. So congrats to him. I know he said it was never about money. It was just about keeping his family here, Southern California. So that's pretty cool. So it definitely worked out because I think he had 2 points. I think he had a goal and an assist in that game, and the Ducks were able to beat one of those top teams at Tampa Bay 4-1, which is nice. Even John Gibson, their goaltender, he's the second goaltender in Ducks history to record 200 career wins. So obviously I think Guy has that number 1 because he was on the team forever when the Ducks started in the mid-90s. But yeah, congrats to Gibson, and hopefully get a couple more saves in the next couple of weeks. And then I want to go through some numbers that YouTube threw at me towards the end of this last year, which were pretty cool. I think this is just for what happened in 2024. So my total subscribers is now up to 1,160, which is nice. I passed 1,000, I think, the middle of last year, which is cool, but it went up another 100, which is really nice. My views for last year were 555.4 thousand. I uploaded 568 times. That seems like a lot, but I guess I did. Had 9.3 thousand likes, 193 comments total, and my top video was when I put up Duke's freshman Cooper Flag and Con Canoople's dunk party in the exhibition game. I think that has right now over 20,000 views, and that's just a short, but still it counts. And if you get those shorts up too, it counts towards your views and all that stuff and times to watch, which is pretty cool. So yeah, either way, thanks to everybody for helping me grow this channel. Yeah, I don't do it as much, been a little bit more busy at work, but whenever I can get some of the more important news out there, I always try to make at least 1 or 2 videos a week to update y'all. So yeah, hopefully y'all still keep watching. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. I know this was all pretty much USC and Anaheim Ducks based, but the next video, next couple of days, should be Duke and Chargers. So leading into Duke playing against Louisville or some team Tuesday as you're watching this, and then talking about the Chargers matchup in the playoffs in the wild card against Texans. So that's going to be pretty nice. So look forward to that video. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your day.